we'll be doing today is solving equations. So to start off with, we're going to do solving a one-step equation. So the question is x plus 8 equals 15. When you solve an equation, what you need to remember is you need to work out the value for x. So you need to get x on its own. So to get x on its own, we need to move the 8 to the opposite side. Okay, so we need to do the inverse. The inverse of plus 8 is minus 8. So we subtract 8 from both sides of the equation. Now you end up with x equals 7. And that's your answer. To double check it, you can substitute 7 back into the equation. So you can do 7 plus 8 and you get 15, just to check if your answer is correct. Okay, if you can pause the video now and have a go at doing this question. Okay, to check your answer, you should get x equals 10. Now, the next one, 2x equals 10. What 2x actually means is 2 multiplied by x. The inverse of multiplying is dividing. So what we need to do now is divide both sides by 2. And then the answer you should get is x equals 5. So to check again, substitute 5 into your equation, 2 times 5, and you get 10. And now, can you pause the video and have a go at this question? Okay, the answer that you should have got is x equals 5. And substitute back in just to double check your answer is correct. Next one. Now it looks like a fraction. What that actually means is x divided by 2. So the inverse of divided by 2 is multiplied by 2. So what you have to do to get rid of this 2 on this side, you have to do the inverse of it. Okay, so you multiply both sides by 2 and you get x equals 10. Just to double check, you can substitute that in. 10 divided by 2, you get 5. Pause the video now and have a go at this question, please. Okay, the answer that you should have got for this question is x equals 6. Okay, moving on now. Now we're going on to two-step equations. So, just like the title, you're going to have to do 2 steps to solve this equation. First step, we need to move this 2 to the other side. So what you do to both sides is you subtract 2. When you subtract 2, you end up with 3x equals 21. Okay, and then same as the previous slide, 3x means 3 multiplied by x. So the inverse of 3 multiplied by x is dividing by 3 on both sides. So you divide both sides by 3 and you get x equals 7. To double check, you can substitute back in and you'll get the same answer. Okay, now guys, can you pause the video and have a go at doing this question? Okay, the answer that you should have got for this question is y equals 5. Moving on. Okay, so now solving two-step equations that involve negatives. First thing that we need to move to the other side is the minus 7. So the inverse of minus 7 is plus 7. So we plus 7 to both sides. And we end up with minus 2y equals 10. So now minus 2y means minus 2 multiplied by y. The inverse of minus 2 multiplied by y is dividing by minus 2. So we have to divide both sides by minus 2 to get that y on its own. So now the answer that you should get is y equals minus 5. So now guys, can you pause the video and have a go at this question? Okay, the answer that you should have got is c equals 2. Next question now. So now this is an equation that involves brackets. First thing that you have to do is expand the bracket. So when you expand the bracket, you get 2x plus 16 equals 20. Step 2, just solve the two-step equation like the previous slides that you've seen. The answer that you should get is x equals 2. Pause the video now and have a go at doing this question. What I've put up now is a written example of how to do the answer. So first thing you do, you expand the bracket and then you solve the equation, and what you end up with is x equals 8. Next step, now we move on to solving equations with unknowns on both sides. So now you've got letters on both sides. Okay, so you've got 7x here and 2x here, 3x here and minus 4x on this side. So first we'll start off with A. First thing that you need to do, you need to get letters on one side, numbers on the other side. So what you do is you subtract 2 from both sides. Then you end up with 5x plus 9 equals 19. Then what you do is you do the inverse of this 9. The inverse of plus 9 is minus 9. So subtract 9 from both sides and you end up with 5x equals 10. Solve the equation and you end up with x equals 2. Same with the other side. You need to move this 4x to the other side first. So you plus 4x to both sides. So now you end up with 7x minus 1 equals 6. Add 1 to both sides. You end up with 7x equals 7. Divide both sides by 7 and you should get an answer of x equals 1. Okay guys, can you pause the video now and have a go at doing this question? Okay, the answer that you should have got for this is x equals 1.